Oh my god, fuck me. That's funny. God damn it. I had such a good flow. Like everything was just working so good. I had like the best analysis ever. And now I'm checking the comments and there's no sound. God damn it. God damn it. And this comment right here kind of sums it all up. Yeah. I'm going to keep that comment on while I do everything again. Fuck. Right. Right, so let's look at the dollar currency index. So yesterday we had the FOMC. I'm very surprised that you're still watching me. It's been 10 minutes of nothingness. I guess I'm very. I guess it's whatever, you know. So we got what the dollar currency index. So yesterday we had FOMC, right? And the initial, I can't believe I have to repeat all of this. It is what it is. It is what it is. Let's remind myself of not putting the microphone on mute. Fucking meditation, man. Yeah, it's the glasses. I mean, that's why I have these on. It's November. And where I'm from, we celebrate Christmas like 1st of November. It's Christmas. I love Christmas, man. It's like it's my birthday and Christmas. It's like the best holiday ever. And as soon as it's November, it's like okay to start celebrating Christmas, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna be keeping these glasses on, and they had for probably 4.5 months until Christmas is done, which is around February or something. All right, so the dollar currency index. Yesterday we had the FOMC statement, and the initial reaction to the FOMC statement was slightly bullish, right? Because we had a interest rate hike of 75 basis points, 0.75%, which caused the market to react rather bullishly to start off with, because I guess it was not unexpected, it was quite expected, right? And then the statement had not very not some very terrible comments for the markets, right? So I guess the market kind of priced that in, and it felt like it was ready to continue the run that we have been seeing the last couple of days. But what happened then was the press conference. 30 minutes later, Jerome Powell, Fed Chairman Powell, came out and had obviously a lot of mixed comments, like always. But I reading from all the notes and checking that press conference live, I got the feeling that the comments were rather hawkish, which basically means bearish for risk on assets like the stock market and Bitcoin and that sort of stuff, right? And the reaction to the press conference was just to reverse the whole move and give back all the gains almost instantly. And then what we saw was the dollar currency index just rallying. And what you see right here is the dollar currency index bouncing very nicely on this trend line right here. And I would like to say that we're still seeing some signs of a potential shift in market structure. And don't worry, guys, we're going to get to the altcoins. I'm just having to repeat all the stuff that I've worked so hard to bring to you guys while having the mic muted. So welcome everyone here to this live stream. hit that like. The more you like, the less likely it is that I'm going to mute the microphone next time. We did have some changes in behavior here. So if you look at, if you play this like this, right, we can remove everything and we can use the replay function right here. You'll see that this is a bullish trend. This is a very bullish trend with higher highs and higher lows. And then the first change in behavior starts coming in right here with a lower high. And then what we have right here is a lower low. So this is a clear possible break in market structure for the trend and a clear change in behavior of the trend. So this is when I tweeted saying that this is now looking like we might have a move to the downside and a risk on environment. And that's actually what happened. We saw some risk on environment. We saw Bitcoin performing quite nicely, and the S&P 500 moving higher. And then of course we had the FOMC, which kind of put an end to that rally. And now what we're seeing is the dollar currency index reclaim bouncing on the trend line, reclaiming this trend again. But just to be very clear here, it's still in a possible trend right here. So we're not out of, out of the danger zone. Well, I guess it's not a danger zone. Yeah, it was a glitch. My head was glitching, obviously. Sorry about that. Anyway, so what we're seeing right now is a possible risk off scenario, and that's what we're seeing on Bitcoin as well. So we looked at this trade here on Bitcoin, and we were looking for a bullish break and retest. I mean, a bullish retest of the area between the weekly open and the monthly open, where we also had a 50% fib of this move with that low to this high, and that never happened, right? And just to be clear, we're going to be looking at some altcoins. We're going to be looking at some possible longs on altcoins, and also some shorts. And because of the fact that the dollar currency index is rallying and Bitcoin is actually showing local weakness, the probability of the longs on altcoins working out well is very low, and we're also going to be looking at some altcoin shorts, and the probability of those working out is probably higher. But I do believe that I talked to myself way more than 10 minutes, so it's not a problem. That's all I do. I just sit here and tell myself not to take stupid trades and shit like that every day. So it's not uncommon for me to talk to myself. It's just very frustrating where you kind of like, you're not meant to, Anyway, so let's look at a couple of altcoins here that I'm actually watching, and that is Algo. Now you can clearly see here that Algo is in a rather bullish market structure. I can't believe it's been over 15 minutes before I go into the stuff that I actually wanted to talk about, but it is that's what it is. So Algo right here, we are in obviously a quite bullish market structure on Algo, and we're looking for longs. I'm not really sure exactly where we would want to where we want to long this, but because of the fact that Bitcoin is in a rather bearish market structure locally, and it just got rejected at resistance, we need to be very careful, and we need to wait for very strong confirmation right here. And you can also, of course, on Algo, obviously you can always find reasons not to take a trade, but if you put a level right on here, you can clearly see that if you look at the daily, it kind of looks like we're hitting a major resistance area on the daily as well. So what do we want to see from Algo to really think that we're going to go higher? Well, I don't think it's likely that we go higher, but confirmation is confirmation. If we do get that confirmation, maybe we want to start looking into the possibility of seeing a move up to 0.4. Now that trade would have to be, the entry would have to happen somewhere around the weekly and monthly open, and that is the 0.35 area right here. I'm going to try to upgrade StreamYard so that I'm going to be able to stream in 1080p. I've also ordered a new web camera, which is like a DSLR professional camera, so you're going to be able to see my face much more detailed, which and obviously you're going to be able to see the chart much more detailed as well, which is probably why it's the most important part about that. Right, so we got 1 hour right here. We're seeing, so basically, like, let's add some fibs on here. We got that low to that high. What do we see here? We see the weekly and monthly open, and that at the middle of the horizontal area comes in very nicely here, the middle of these 0.618, the 50, the weekly and monthly open, and that level. So somewhere in this area is where we want to see confirmation. Now that confirmation needs to happen while at the same time the stochastic does not have to give us a bull cross, but we want the stochastics to be below 30. Now note that I've stopped using words like oversold and overbought for the stochastics RSI, because I think when you use words like for the RSI, when you say overbought and oversold, your mind tends to relate that to an asset being cheap or expensive, but honestly it has nothing to do with that, because if the RSI is telling you that it's oversold, it doesn't mean that it's cheap, right? So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to teach all my students that it doesn't matter. It does, like, you're not supposed to look at this stochastic RSI or the RSI and think that something is cheap or expensive. All this is another indicator, another possible confluence to the system, right? So you're getting an enter trigger, and that's just part of your enter trigger. It doesn't really matter what you call it and what you think it is. It's just, if you can check that box, and which would be if you want to go long, the stochastics needs to be below 30. If you can check that box, that's good. That's all you have to care about. We don't care how it works, why it works. We just care about the fact that it works because we back tested it, right? Now you can clearly see here that the forest stochastics RSI on algo is too high. It's above 70 right here. We want to see that come down, and that will not happen until maybe 3 or 4 hour candles. So this setup right here, not really the perfect example, but I am seeing a very clear trend right here, and it does look like price wants to continue higher, which of course makes no sense looking at Bitcoin. But if we do get that confirmation, that's what we're going to be looking at. And I also like the fact that the minus 618 right here is confluent with these local highs right here, and that would be our last TP. Now you might want to front run that a little bit, but it's, if we get it set up, I will post it on Twitter. Maybe I definitely post it in the trading room. EGLD. Now here is, I want to show you something that we looked at yesterday. I had a program student telling me about EGLD and showing me some charts here on EGLD, and I just want to show you such a beautiful example right here. If you use the low, like, first of all, when you're putting fibs on the chart, you should first look at the local trend. And first you obviously have this trend right here, but inside this trend you have smaller trends, like one here, downtrend here, uptrend here, downtrend here, sideways range right here. And what you're looking at is, when you're putting the fib on, you're looking for like the clear, clean moves on the 4 hours. So here you have one move with a low and a high, one move with a low and a high, and here's another one with a low and a high, and a low and a high. So in this example right here, if we would want to long this, we would then go and use this low and that high as our fib placement right there. And what you see is, you see price, and something I also always say is, when price goes below the 0.786, the fib is invalidated and you have to put a new fib on. If the candle closes, the open and the closes align with the area, and it's only wicks going below, you can pretty much ignore that if the fib aligns with the horizontal levels nicely, which happened in this case right here. So what happened here was, you had stochastic RSI below 30, you had a 4-hour bullish engulfing candle. It reclaimed the 50% fib and the 20 EMA in the 4 hour, and this trade would have hit profit very quickly. Now what I would want to do is put the stops below the reload zone. TP1 would be around here, around 1R, TP2, TP3, and TP4. So this would be a small trade, around 2R trade, but still would have happened very, very quickly. So that's what we're looking at whenever we're trading an altcoin. This is the type of price action we want to see. This is the type of bounce inside the trend we want to see. On algo, you can clearly see here that it's not really that clear, but you can definitely see that what we're seeing on algo right here pretty much happened on EGLD. So you could expect that algo is currently trading up here. What you want to see is, you want to see price come down inside the reload zone, which is down here. So the trade might be something like this, where you have I just read this comment and I completely forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, so we want to see a price kind of come down and test this level, and then a 4-hour bullish engulfing, and that 4-hour bullish engulfing, best if it closes above the 50% fib. If it closes like way above here, what I want to do is, I want to put long orders on the 50 right here for a possible retest on the 50, especially if the break If you come down and bounce here, and then the break above the 50 is very clean and clear, you want to put long orders on the 50 right here, and the stop loss would be below the reload zone, and this would then be the trade with TP1 around 0, TP2 at minus 236, TP3 at the minus 382, and then TP4 around the minus 618. And the average trade of this one would be 2.7, which is basically, it's definitely acceptable. Anything above 2 with my win rate is very good. So that's Algo and EJLD. EJLD, obviously, I just showed you an example of what I'm looking at, but if you add a fib on the most recent move right here, you'll see that you're actually getting something interesting right here, and that is the reload zone coming in a nice area here as well. You have the 0.618 aligning very nicely with this resistance area, which is also a high time frame horizontal level. So I'm putting an alert right here because we do have a possible trade, a possible long down here. Let's look at BNB. BNB is showing a, actually, I do believe that this was a trade we looked at yesterday, and it kind of looks like this one played out. And I don't think I don't really want to trade this BNB right here, because let's move that down here, because basically I think this kind of looks like a possible change in behavior of the trend, so we got to be careful with BNB. So let's not look at it long here. There might be a possibility that we can look at this fib right here, and we might have something on the 1 hour, based on the 1 hour, because it is a quite clear, there is some quite clear levels right here. If we can come down and we can test the 0.618 right here with a 1 hour bullish engulfing candle, maybe we'll have a trade here based on the 1 hour. But I usually don't trade the 1 hour setups, even though this one looks quite clear. I usually don't trade the 1 hour setups because the swing trading system and trading the 4 hour and the daily is just much more stress-free way of trading for me. So I try to focus on the 4 hour swing trading system. I want to look at Bitcoin quickly before we move on, because it's probably moving lower. Yeah, so you look at the 1 hour right here on Bitcoin, and it's not very clear that you have that rejection. What we're doing right now is we're approaching the area where we have the daily 20 and the daily 50 EMA. The daily 20 EMA is right on the daily 50. So if price stays above it for a day or two, we're going to have that bull cross on the EMAs. I don't think that's going to happen. And if it does happen, I don't think it's a big deal. Honestly, it's just a level. We're probably just going to bounce on this level, and that bounce might give us a couple of entries on altcoins, but like, it's very risky, because it kind of looks like Bitcoin wants to move lower. And if you look at the S&P 500, right, you look at the S&P 500, it's obviously not looking bullish. I mean, it's completely breaking the uptrend. So I think this is kind of, I think Bitcoin is lagging behind a little bit. I think Bitcoin is going to follow lower here, because what happens on S&P 500 here is just completely breaking the local trend. The idea that we would have a bullish break in market structure on the S&P 500 is completely thrown out the window. We are now back in a bearish market structure on most risk on assets, and looking for longs on altcoins is very risky. But we can't ignore the fact that we do have bullish trends on altcoins. With that said, we're going to be looking at some shorts as well. Not the most cleanest BAT right here. Look at BAT. We had a very strong pump yesterday, and beautifully bounced on the 4 hour EMAs and the daily 50, confident with that support area. But it just happened too quickly for me to catch, and also happened too late for me to catch that one. Is there a trade on BAT? I don't think so. I think it's too volatile. The chart looks too messy. So right now we have Algo and EJLD to be watching. TWT, not sure about that one. In terms of a short, I'm watching KSM. Now this actually looks pretty clean for a possible short. Let's put a level on here, and you'll see that there's a pretty clear rejection of that level. Now the problem here is you want the fib from that low to this high, and then even the 50 is too high. But what I do like about KSM here for possible short is the rejection of the 4-hour 50 EMA, which comes in right in the middle of this resistance area. Now, if you look at the 1 hour, yeah, I don't even think there's going to be a good fib level on the 1 hour. It's definitely this fib. So because of the fact that price never really hit the 50 and there's just no good entry based on the fibs, I can't really take this trade using my system. But if you're looking to short on altcoin, I would definitely keep my eyes on KSM. It looks like KSM is going to move lower rapidly if Bitcoin continues lower as well. So KSM, very good altcoins to watch as a possible short. AVAX, not sure why I have this on the list. I guess on AVAX, what I'm watching is a possible reclaim of this level right here, but then the monthly open would be very close resistance, so maybe not a very good idea. Now, VU is looking fairly interesting for some potential longs. Now, if you kind of zoom out, you'll see that the overall trend here is bullish, right? And you've had, so the trend is obviously bullish. You've had a bounce on the daily 20 EMA right here, and you have the weekly open coming in very nicely at a confluence with the upper part of that horizontal support area. Now, what you want to see is you want to see a move up, right? Now, you want to see this move continue so that the 50% of this move right here comes in confluence with the weekly open. Now, if that happens, I don't think it's going to happen, but if it does happen, we have a possible trade right here. So maybe you can put on a trend line area right here that kind of goes through this area like this, something like that, right? So you'll have that trend line area here. Now imagine if price comes up and hits this level right here, which kind of makes sense. If we do have a pump, it will probably hit resistance right here. Now, where would the fib come in if that would be resistance? Now, the 50 would be coming in right between the weekly and monthly open, and that's also where we would have the 4-hour moving averages. I'm trying to kind of predict where the move might get rejected, and if it does get rejected there, where would the best fibs be? And I think that would be the area between weekly open and the monthly open. So this is the move that we would be looking to trade on VU. Now, also note how the last TP might come into the same area where you have that trend line as well. So it would be a break and retest of a horizontal level in an uptrend. That level would be confluent with the 50% fib, hopefully, and the weekly and monthly open. Now, what you want to see here, obviously, you see the 4-hour stochastics being well above 70. You want to see this pump continuing to the upside so that the stochastics RSI keeps staying above 70. And then on the move lower down to the 50% fib, you want to see stochastics follow price lower. And when the bounce happens inside this area, you want to see the stochastics RSI create a rounded bottom. That's the best case scenario, rounded bottom with a bullish, a bull cross basically on this area. So VU, good potential long, probably tomorrow. So right now what we have is Algo, EJLD, and VU for longs, and KSM for a possible short. If I would bet on one of these, if I would have to bet on one of these, I would say KSM has the best probability of moving lower probably today. So if you feel like you want to FOMO, you want to risk everything you have on one trade, I shouldn't say that. I should really not say that. Never mind. Never do something like that. Do not FOMO. Do not risk everything you have on one trade. You know I'm joking, right? But if you're a degenerate gambler who's looking to lose all your money in crypto, maybe go all in on this one, and the chances that you will lose all money is slightly lower than if you would, I don't know, long Bitcoin. All right, so Ave, good old Ave. I've already been stopped out twice on this trade, so maybe not look at another entry. But it is what it is. Like if you get that confirmation, you get that confirmation, and you'll kind of have to follow the trade. Let's see what we get. Right, I got way too. I should have more likes. Hit that like button, guys. I got way more live viewers than I have likes. If you hit that like button, I will might start dancing. I'm not gonna start dancing. So on Ave, we have a very clear level right here. That's a fairly clean level. We can look at the daily as well. That level kind of goes straight through right here. Good level on the daily. I'm not caring about that one right here because it kind of makes sense on the 4 hour, and it's also fake out on the daily. So I'm just ignoring that fake out right there. On the 4 hour, basically what we're watching is a break and retest of this level right here. So if Ave can break out, we're going to be using the fibs to try to predict where the high of that move might happen. And I would like to have it at least up here, right? So something like this is what I'm looking at. So from that high down and bouncing on the 50 and then continuing higher, something like this. So I do like that. We might have a move. We might even have a move like, well, this level right here aligns quite nicely with this level right here. So if we break that high right there, we might come into resistance here and then come down and retest that breakout level. Now, a lot of you are watching this, and I remember when I started trading, I learned how to trade through a trading community. Actually, there's a lot of people just hating on paid groups and trading community, but that's where I learned to trade. No, I did not learn to trade in the Bird Nest. This was way before I joined the Bird Nest. This was when I was in a group called the Bitcoin Bravado. Actually, in 2017, that group does not exist anymore. But that's where I learned to trade. And I remember we had one analyst in that group only trading the break and retest, and I didn't really understand why he always waited for the retest after a breakout. Like, why, if you think price is going to move like this, why don't you just buy here and sell when it's up here? It took a long time for me to understand that idea that you should always be patient and wait for the best possible entries and then wait for confirmation, because a breakout, trading the breakout and trading the break and retest, I'm a break and retest trader, and it's so very different. There's very different styles. You have to manage to trade very differently. But what I like about the break and retest idea is that when there's a breakout, you pay attention to the chart, right? And you have a lot of time to make your plan and figure out how you're going to manage your trade and stuff like that. So when the retest comes along, it usually happens hours later, or maybe even days, or maybe even weeks later. You have so much time to plan your trade ahead of time. Now, what happens on a breakout is you're either going to have buy orders above that resistance that will get filled when you have the breakout, or you're just going to enter immediately on the breakout. And you have to be very careful with managing that position, because chances are that on a breakout trader, on a breakout trading system, you're going to have a lower win rate and but much higher risk to reward. Because usually what I would do if I would be a breakout trader is I would buy the breakout. Then when I see that the breakout has momentum, I would move stops to entry to secure myself in case it's a fake out, because you know that breakouts are very often fake outs. It's a good example. We could look at this chart right here. So imagine that you're a breakout trader, and this is the level that you want to buy the breakout. So whenever there's like a breakout above this white dotted line right here, you're going to buy the breakout. And what you're watching is a 4-hour candle close above the level. When there's a 4-hour candle close above the level, you want to enter something like that. Might be a stupid idea, I don't know, but it kind of makes sense, right? So we got a touch, and that's a 4-hour candle close above. So all right, let's say it closes here. So you enter here, you see some momentum around this area, you move stops to entry, right? So that's your stop at an entry. and then it moves lower. It's a fake out, right? Up again. That's a 4-hour candle close above. That's a fake out. Another fake out. And what I'm trying to show you here is that there's almost always going to be a lot of fake outs on a level like that. So with the break and retest, you wouldn't have entered any of these. With the break and retest, what you want to see, like you first want to see the breakout, and then what you want to see is a rounded retest. You want to you want to give the market enough time and space to accept this level as support. Because if price just peaks its head above this resistance area, you're not really giving the market enough time to accept this level as support. It's still resistance, right? It needs time. The market participants needs time to see price above this level to accept it as support. When there's enough time and space between the breakout and the retest, that looks weird. Between the breakout and the retest, you have a higher probability of price accepting that level as support, and probably you're going to move higher. That's why I think the break and retest idea is much better, because it's much less stressful and it's teaching you to be more patient in your trading, which is a very, very important trait to have as a professional trader. You're going to be waiting around, sitting around, waiting for the best trades to come to you. That's AVE. Now let's look at MKR. I don't even know why I have that on. All right, so let's go through this list again. Do we have any shorts here? FTT, what's FTT giving us? Oh, it's just quite slow. Nothing here. Nothing on link. This is retarded. I don't know what happened here. HT, ball, dot. All right, so honestly, I think right now there's only a couple of altcoins that I have my eyes on, and that is Algo, which not very likely that this will work out. We got EJLD, which looks better than Algo, so that's going to be on top of the list. And then we have Boo, which kind of looks good. And then we had KSM for a possible short. Everything else, I'm going to move down to the second list. Now, guys, if you're subscribed to my newsletter, if you're not subscribed, do that right away. It's in the description below. It's completely free, sent out every Friday. If you are subscribed, you should have gotten the access link to the green list, which is this one right here, and the orange list in the last newsletter. So what you can do is, and I think they're available. So if you sign up to the newsletter, you'll be able to watch the last issues as well. So you'll be able to catch the watch list right here. What you're able to do is you're able to use that link, follow the public watch list, and you'll get this exact watch list right here. It's probably going to look something like this. You'll see right here, the first list, these are the ones I'm watching. And if I have any open trades, I will move these pairs to the column right here, which says open trades. So you'll know when I enter anything. You'll know because on that public watch list, you'll see which trades I'm currently in, which I'm currently watching. And in the last newsletter, I've also recorded a video explaining the whole structure of the watch list. What does number one mean, what does number two means, and which are the ones you should focus on. So I have one for the altcoin market. I have one orange list for the legacy markets, and as you can see right here on open trades, I have Euro GBP, which is not very open at this point, obviously. So I'm moving that down here, so I have no open list. All I have today is just less money than I had yesterday. Whoa, man. But that it is what it is. It is what it is. It's a roller coaster, a financial and emotional roller coaster. It's fun, it's exciting, it's scary, and it is what it is. But that's it. And that's it for today's webinar, presentation, live stream, whatever. Thank you all for watching today, and I would like to give a huge extra special thank you for every single one of you that watched me talk to myself muted for the first 15 minutes or so. That is unbelievable that you're able to actually stay and watch me with a muted mic. And the engagement in the chat during that first 10 minutes was just insane. Like, I can't understand why I didn't check the chat, because I saw like 25 notifications. Usually it's like 2 or 3. I'm like, people must really be liking what I'm saying. So I'm like, let's just continue talking like this, and people obviously really like it. And then I was checked the comments. I'm like, let's getting ready to see all the positive feedbacks and everything, and it's all like, we can't hear you. I'm like, God damn it, so stupid. So next time you're spamming the chat, I'm gonna make sure to actually watch the chat. All right, guys, thank you for watching today. Keep your eyes on these altcoins right here. Go to the newsletter, sign up to the newsletter, check out the previous issue, watch the video, use the public link to the watch list, and you'll be able to follow these live. All right, take care, and yeah, bye.